Well, that's right, Aldrin. Look, there'd been some suspicion initially that Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's defense team may be up to something, Aldrin. You'd recall when during the previous appearance, they told the court that she was not proceeding with her bail application, basically citing new crucial evidence that had come to light. So this looks to be the route that Dr. Nandipha Magudumana will be taking. Essentially, she wants this court, the High Court here in Bloemfontein, to declare her arrest and detention unlawful. She says that on about the 6th of April, this is according to the papers she has filed, that she was arrested by members of the second respondent, who is the South African Police Service. And on the evening of the 12th of April, she was told she was going home, she was blindfolded and then taken to the airport. Her lawyers will also argue this morning that, South Africa did not have the jurisdiction or authority to arrest her there. And, those are some of the crucial aspects. She says she's being illegally detained and wants to be released. She is currently facing charges of fraud, Aldrin, violating a corpse, aiding and abetting the escape of a convicted prisoner. So basically saying that proceedings against her in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court, she basically says are illegal. As you correctly point out, Aldrin, earlier this week, the Home Affairs Minister, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, said they want to challenge this urgent application. Motsoaledi basically saying that he was shocked that the Home Affairs Department or Home Affairs was not cited as a respondent in this matter, and he found it suspicious because Home Affairs was one of the institutions at the center of Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's deportation, together with that of her boyfriend, convicted Facebook rapist and murderer, Thabo Bester. So Home Affairs then wrote to Magudumana's lawyers. Yes, correct indeed. Yesterday also hearing from the National Prosecuting Authority, which says now it also oppose this urgent application lodged by Dr. Magudumana, as they believe there's no merit to her application. However, we're expecting them to unpack the grounds upon which they're opposing this urgent application a bit later on this morning once court proceedings get underway at 10 o'clock this morning. So what we're also possibly expected to hear, Aldrin, or you will be speaking to, I understand, an immigration expert in just a moment, is that if Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, through her lawyers, would be able to find some loopholes or procedural flaws in the manner in which she was arrested in Tanzania, some of the immigration experts say she might have her way in this court. So hence we did not see a bail application coming from her in the lower court, which is the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court, Aldrin.
And just quickly take us back to that explanation that was given by the Home Affairs Minister in his accusation and also assertion that when Dr. Nandipha Magudumana as well as Thabo Bester were being taken from Tanzania, the police were not involved, and this was what the Tanzanian government has said, that once they release Nandipha as well as Thabo Bester, the type of transportation that would be used is quite important. Also an indication there from the Home Affairs Minister.
Well, that's right, Aldrin. In terms of the procedure that was described by the Home Affairs Minister, he believes that there was nothing illegal about the manner in which they brought Dr. Nandipha Magudumana to South Africa. Of course, Home Affairs had been involved in that, and they were part of the process to ensure. Remember, there's a process that even goes through an ambassador or a high commissioner of that particular country, in which then, travel documents, all that is required from that country for Dr. Nandipha Magudumana to be brought to South Africa. There's a handing over process here that needs to take place, and Home Affairs had been involved in that process. Hence, the minister says that they don't believe that there was anything untoward, including the transportation. Over R1 million, of course, was used to transport Dr. Nandipha Magudumana and Thabo Bester back to South Africa. The transportation that was used also, the minister says, as part of the reason why that was used instead of other means to bring them back to South Africa, because they felt that there were certain requirements that needed to be met, certain procedures that needed to be followed in order for them to be brought back to the country. So we're expecting, when I spoke to Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's lawyers yesterday, they did indicate that they had written to the Home Affairs, or they'd responded to Home Affairs, who you'd recall did indicate that they'd written a letter saying they want to oppose this application, they want to be added as respondents to this urgent application. And that correspondence, according to them, has been communicated to Home Affairs. I guess we'll hear this morning if indeed there will be this joiner application that they will use to enter these particular proceedings. But as far as we know at this particular stage, also, I spoke to Dr. Nandipha Magudumana's lawyers yesterday. It doesn't look like she will be present, Aldrin, at court this morning. That's, of course, on the version that I have of her lawyers. They had said that she does not need to be present in court this morning. So that's according, of course, to her legal representation.